And in this next one, we got two grizzled veterans. We got former champ Charles Oliveira rematching Michael Chandler, where their first fight was a undisputed title fight. Michael Chandler was a few punches away from earning the belt, but Charles Oliveira was able to survive that late first round flurry from Chandler, go out there, get the second round knockout. But since then, man, a lot of shit has happened. I mean, Oliveira went on a great run after that, got a couple more huge wins, but he's lost two of his last three fights. And Michael Chandler, his last fight was the loss to Dustin Poirier, and then he had the long saga with Conor McGregor where they were supposed to fight multiple times. They filmed The Ultimate Fighter, and then he kind of got left in the dust, man, left in the wind, just hanging around. So ended up having to book a different fight, and you can't ask for much bigger. I mean, he got a former champion, an opportunity to avenge a loss in Madison Square Garden, co-main event on a pay-per-view. So huge spot for Chandler nonetheless, and a hell of a fight. And I was a little more confident, honestly, I will say, in Do Bronx the first time these two guys met up than this time. But I still like Do Bronx as far as a prediction. I feel like he is on the feet the better overall striker. He's obviously very hittable, so that gives Chandler that chance to explode on him. But ultimately, I think Charles just has to be aggressive and wane into the fire like he does against these other guys, because when you close the space on these guys, you make it harder for Chandler to throw all these crazy kicks that he throws and use these switch stance blitz attacks, and you smother a lot of the danger from Chandler, and that's where you can get your elbows going, your knees going. You could maybe hit a takedown. We saw Do Bronx get in deep and hit that double leg on Chandler in his last fight, and obviously you're going to have to potentially get clipped and take some damage to implement that game plan. But if you could do it and get on the inside and do the work that you need to do, then you can get a diminished Chandler if the fight continues, or get your finish. And Oliveira, I feel like he hasn't been looking as good recently. I don't think his confidence is the same as where it was before, but having fought a guy that he's already beaten, that I think he believes that he has an edge over, I think that's going to give him a little bit more confidence to be aggressive with the submission game, to be aggressive with his pressure and striking on the feet. And I feel like if these guys grapple, man, I mean, yes, Chandler had some success in the first fight. He was able to get out of the guillotine. He was able to, or he attacked guillotine, excuse me. He was able to get out of the back mount position. He had some good ground and pounds. And we've seen Charles kind of more recently stay in his guard and just kind of accept being on his back and trying to avoid taking damage. But I think he needs to go back to being that aggressive submission hunter and trying to really throw up a lot of stuff on Chandler if he does end up on his back, or even if he gets on top, try to jump on submissions and things like that and be aggressive. And ultimately, I just think that Oliveira is going to be able to find the submission in this one. This knockout threat is there once again as well, but I'm thinking submission more in this fight. Chandler, 36 years old, long layoff, returning. I think it's always going to be a tough matchup for him, and I think Do Bronx knows what he has to do to get the win. If Chandler wins, it is going to be a knockout, I believe, early. So if you like Chandler, go with the unders, go with the Chandler KO. But I think Charles Do Bronx is going to win this one. This is 5 rounds too, so I don't think Chandler can use his wrestling. Maybe if it was 3 rounds, maybe 2 rounds, he could smother Do Bronx or something. But I just can't see him doing it for 5 rounds, honestly. And yeah, I'm going to Do Bronx. Finish here, I'll say this time instead of a second round knockout, it's a second round submission.